Hello, and welcome back to Movie Nights. I'm John Bingham.
I'm Aaron Jones.
And we have a very special guest today.
Hello, I'm Jonathan York.
And today we are going to be discussing the hit movie.
The hit 2004 film.
The hit 2004 film, thank you, Aaron Jones, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Roll intro, Mr. Music. So alrighty, first off, we talked about it before. This was not your first time watching this movie, correct?
Yep, I saw it in the fantasy genre class with both of you.
Oh, yeah. Fantasy.
That was the first time we watched it.
Gosh, that was an interesting class. I miss it, though. Do you miss it?
It was a fun class.
It was a fun class.
I really enjoyed it.
We were able to talk about our opinions more.
And not get kicked. No,
Get kicked out of class.
Let's not.
Did you hear my joke right before the exam?
I did not.
I was asking.
Oh, yeah, you were like, I'm just trying to
I was asking questions before our midterm last week in Cinema History 2. And he's like, this is the most you've talked in forever in here. And I said, I'm trying not to get kicked out. What do you want me to do?
Golly. But yeah, no. So this was also not my first time viewing. I've watched this movie many of times. What about you, Mr. Jones?
First time I saw it was in Fantasy Films.
Gotcha. Didn't you have a...
Yeah, I cried when I watched it.
Well, no, yes, he's a crier. But didn't you have a special guest for this viewing?
Actually, no, we didn't watch it.
Oh my gosh, all that build up in the last episode, and now...
She watched Baby Driver, though.
Oh, what did she think about Baby Driver?
She loved Baby Driver.
Best movie ever?
Best movie ever, yeah.
Nice.
She ranked it. She watched it on the plane. You know what I watched on the plane?
What?
On the way there, I watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And I finished the season that they just added to Netflix. There's still 2 more I got to watch. And then on the way back, I watched Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Nice. What did you think about that?
I've already seen it. I like it a lot. I also cried during that at the end.
Nice. But all right, back to Eternal Sunshine.
Of the Spotless Mind.
Yeah, that was so loud. So, 2004 hit film, directed and written by Charlie Kaufman. So, this movie, as some would call it, get a little, I would say, confusing at times.
No.
Would you say that?
No.
No?
I followed it just fine.
You followed it just fine? No confusion at all? None. It explains everything so efficiently.
Everything, everywhere, and all at once, would you say?
Oh, watch that. Click at the end of the video. It should. Yeah, watch that episode. Everything, everywhere, all at once. Plug. God. But yeah, so that was kind of what I took away from this viewing of it, was just how complicated it can get, and then how it presents that information to you.
Yeah.
Both of these, well, the first 2 movies we covered were, I felt like movies that every time you rewatch it, you get something else out of it.
Right.
What were they? Wizard of Oz and...
No, I was talking about it on podcast.
Oh.
On the podcast. Not the podcast film class.
I thought you were talking about fantasy. No, we watched Baby Driver, Everything Ever at Once, and Captain America Brave New World.
Yeah, see, I wasn't...
Yeah, you can get a lot of that in multiple
yeah,
units.
see, I wasn't going to count that one, so I had to count back, remember how many we did. But yeah, was there anything you guys took away from this viewing? Anything else that you guys picked up on? Because this was just your second viewing, so it's still probably...
It was my third. I rewatched,
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha,
yeah.
But yeah, I noticed you talked about how it kind of gets confusing. Like, I think it has a lot of fast-paced editing, especially in the memories, which kind of helps with the confusion a little bit. But yeah, I just really love this movie. So
Yeah.
Oh, I love this movie.
Real quick, you were talking about the editing. It's kind of in the trivia section, but so Charlie Kaufman, he said that he wanted it to be edited that way, particularly because it reminds him a lot. Well, it's supposed to represent like how we remember stuff and like how broken up it is and how like misarranged and stuff. And I don't. It's just it's one of those movies, man. You can just like dissect every little detail. But yeah, I know. So you said that you love this movie and you seem to be very excited about it and really enjoy it. So what do you like about this movie? What stands out to you about it?
I mean, a lot. Like, I really love, like, just the original music they have in it is really good and adds to it a lot. And then the acting's just great. But I think the thing I love the most about it, it's depiction of love. And, like, love is worth the risk. And that, like, last line in the film of Jim Carrey just saying, okay. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Gosh. Okay. This was a question in fantasy. I think I'm going to word it wrong. Do you think they were a good relationship or like a bad... Is that how he said it?
Yeah.
You know
Do you think it's
about?
a healthy relationship?
Do you think it's a healthy relationship?
No.
Yeah, a lot of people
yeah.
would say
Yeah. I would have... They're definitely broken people, which I think if you're going into a relationship, you can't expect both each other to be perfect and the relationship to be perfect, but they kind of like take it up to 10 in this movie.
Yeah, they say... especially Jim Carrey, oh my gosh, I've learned a lot from my dad what not to say to women, and I kind of got that.
We can see that.
I got that feeling from Jim Carrey in this movie. I was just like, he would say something, and I just go, I'm like, that's probably not what you should have said right there. Like there was something. It was like, you probably slept with a bunch of people tonight because that's the only way you get people to like you or something.
Yeah,
and I was just like. Ooh, it's like, oh, he's in trouble. I was like,
he's in trouble.
He's at the doghouse. I've been hanging out with my family all week. I'm too country. Came back from spring break. But yeah, no, it's just you were talking about the score, and like the music in it. We were talking about before the podcast the opening song. I cannot think of the name of it, but it has been stuck in my head all week. Since last night, since I watched the movie. But no, I can't think of the composer's name. But yeah, no, he did a very good job of what I would say fills the scene. Like it's not, they didn't just put music in there to have music and for him to show off. It like he plays to where it fits the scene.
Right.
And I don't know, there's just...
Yeah, I love the, like, mundaneness of the, like, opening scene when he gets out of bed and that just kind of, like, bass line and the piano in the background.
Feels real.
It's so simple. Like,
Yeah.
it's so simple.
Yeah.
And it's so effective, though. I don't know. This movie. It's like Baby Driver when we were talking about it. With I was talking about Edgar Wright. I was just like, he's just such a director.
Genius.
He's genius.
Cinema.
Absolute cinema. But okay, should we go ahead and jump into the
Plot.
spoiler, quote unquote, plot stuff? Okay, so
I didn't get to talk about my opinions.
Oh well.
Well, go ahead, Aaron.
Go
Thank
ahead.
you.
Aaron. I'm sorry.
Thank
sorry.
you. I'm all the way over here. It's like I'm forgotten about.
It's just like disconnect.
That mic filter is in the way. Like mine, in my view, it's in the way of you.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of like a reticle. I love this movie, as y'all know. It's my favorite movie of all time now. So I cried in class, and then I came back and I told everyone that I cried.
What a loser.
Like, it feels real to me. Yes, they are not very mentally healthy people, but they connect to each other. Their brokenness brings them together. I loved it. I'm kind of staring at myself at the camera. On the screen.
I'd say it's kind of hard not to.
Oh, yeah, go Celtics.
But
But I saw The Truman Show before the first time I saw this, and that's already one of my favorite movies. So I love Jim Carrey.
Truman Show. I think I told you I watched that over spring break.
You did.
And I texted him and was like, "We got to cover it." I was like, "We got to cover that movie at some
I've
point."
never seen it, so
You've never watched The
No.
Truman Show? Oh.
I need to watch it. I think I saw it's like on Prime or
Yeah,
Max.
I think it's on Prime.
Yeah.
I watched it for the first time during COVID. Oh my gosh.
We're definitely gonna have
No
to cover
spoilers on that one.
No spoilers on that one, but you might have to make a return appearance for that one. That one,
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah, I'm down.
That one was that one is.
Like I love Jim Carrey in that, and I love Jim Carrey as a comedic role. So
Yeah.
coming into this, I was like, yeah, he did a serious thing in The Truman Show, but like there's still comedic aspects of it. Then we got to this, and I was like, whoa, he's got range.
It is so. We'll talk about that real quick before we get into the plot. He is so not Jim Carrey in this movie. It's like the first time you watch it, you got like, at least I did. I kind of forgot it was Jim Carrey for a second. I was just kind of like, I was able to like disconnect him from The Mask and Dumb and Dumber and stuff, and just
Sonic the Hedgehog and
Sonic the Hedgehog
2 and
you
Sonic
see him
the
as
Hedgehog
Joel,
3.
and you don't see him as Jim Carrey.
Yeah, you see Joel, not Jim Carrey. That's a great point. And again, another trivia fact I'm breaking into early, but Charlie Kaufman, when they first met for the role, Jim Carrey said in an interview not terribly long ago that he was like in a very dark place, man. He was just very depressed and stuff. And Charlie Kaufman could tell that and told him, he's like, don't get better. Don't get any better. He's like, I want that for this. Which he said it like it was a negative thing. And it's kind of like that thing, like, what do you want to do for your craft? Because obviously you get a great performance out of it.
Yeah.
But then again, it's also like, I don't know. It definitely didn't ruin it for me. This is still one of my favorite movies. But I was just kind of like, oh, he was depressed the entire time. I was like, that's sad. But no, what do you think about that? About Jim Carrey not playing Jim Carrey in this?
I haven't seen like too many Jim Carrey movies, so I'm not like used to it. I'm used to it because I've seen other stuff with him, like Batman Forever, Who's the Riddler,
The 1995 hit
One
movie.
of the best Riddlers.
There's three. There are three Riddlers.
He's the best one.
He's the best one.
I love Jim Carrey.
Not Robert Battenbat's the Batman.
What?
Robert Battenbat.
Oh.
Robert Pattinson. Robert Battenbat.
Paul Dano does good, but
Paul Dano does good.
Yeah.
Oh, he does a fantastic job, but he's
not the Riddler.
He's not the Riddler.
Yeah.
But that's the comic book aspect of it. They made him real. I love the Batman. It's my favorite Batman movie.
It is. Yeah, me too.
It was very good. The one scene with the car and it like revs up. I was like, oh. In the theater, I got so hyped.
The penguins flipped over and you just see him come out of the fire. Bow, 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 bow.
That's another movie we're gonna have to.
Get me back on for that one. I definitely want to talk about that one.
That's basically this podcast. We just talk about movies that we are gonna cover. Okay. But okay, getting into the plot. Getting into this plot. Spoilers ahead. But you knew that. Anyways, so we open up on this movie and we don't get a ton of information starting off. I think the first shot, if I'm not mistaken, is him just in bed and then him waking up and kind of going through the phases of that and stuff. And we see his car is all dented up. We see that he has a headache. He has aspirin by his bed that he takes, and he's just kind of out of it. And he's also narrating. Like halfway through this scene, he starts narrating.
Yeah, it's his like journal entry.
Yeah. And he's just, you could instantly tell that he is going through it. He is not having a good time.
Yeah.
What makes you say that?
Well, what's the line he says about Valentine's Day? I don't want to misquote it.
I don't want to misquote it. It's the holiday that card making companies.
It's a holiday
created
by greeting card companies to make people feel bad. I think it's something to that.
It's something
nature.
like that, yeah.
But
I'm looking it up.
That line it always hits me. I'm just like, I totally agree with that. But as a single guy, it's easy to say that. But after that, we see he talks about how he's going to work and then how he decides to switch things up. He doesn't really know why, but he's just like, I don't want to do this. I want to break.
Well, remember his car had a dent in it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but he was waiting at the train station to catch the train to work.
No, he was going to drive, but then he saw someone hit his car.
Is that why he was at the train station? I thought he took
his car too. I might be wrong.
Yeah. Are you gaslighting us, Aaron? Are you just gaslighting us? But anyways, he was at the train station. He has too much power over there. He has too much power.
I hit the wrong one.
It worked perfectly though.
I meant to hit this.
But he's at the golly. Where's the power cord? I'm gonna snip it. Too much power, man. Too much power. God complex. Anyways, he's at the flipping train station. He's at the train station. And
he ends up at a beach.
He ends up at the beach.
He calls into work from a payphone there.
Yep. And you do get little glimpses of Jim Carrey throughout this movie. And I definitely thought that phone call was one of them. You heard him. He was like, hey, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it to work. I don't know. It's just depressed Jim Carrey. I take what I can get. I like happy Jim Carrey. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, he goes to this beach in
Montauk.
Montauk. I about said Montauk. I knew that wasn't right. Montauk. And he starts seeing this woman who she's kind of a big deal in this movie.
Yeah.
Kate Winslet. We kind of see her in the background here, kind of walking around. And I think she has orange hair. Yeah, she has orange hair at this
blue.
point. She has blue hair?
I thought it was orange at the beginning.
It switches so many times.
I think it was, it had to have been blue.
Was it blue?
I feel like it was blue.
Well, let's look at that picture up there.
Yeah.
Well, it's blue there, but that's in
I thought it was...
No,
was it orange because her name's Clementine?
No, it's blue because it's Clementine.
Oh,
that's tangerine.
Yeah.
Or when it's red.
Okay. Yeah, but we'll go with blue.
Yeah.
Anyways,
we can get into the hair a little bit later.
Her hair is a color.
Yeah.
And they end up back on the train. And this is whenever I think it's pretty important.
It's green. It starts with green.
It starts with green?
Yeah.
Oh, we were all wrong.
It goes acidic green before it evolves into a passionate red, electric orange, and finally a broken-hearted blue.
No, that's when they actually first meet. It's green.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's like...
So it's blue again. It ends in blue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the beginning is the end.
Yeah.
It messes with you. Sorry.
You're fine.
You. We're confused. Anyways, I have to edit some of this out.
By we, you mean me?
That's why I looked at you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at this.
But Clementine starts this conversation with Joel. And she's the one that initiates it, which I think is kind of a big deal. I don't know why. But, well, I do know why. I just think it kind of shows that characteristic to her already, that she's outgoing, and kind of like how it gets later on in the movie brought up, how she's kind of uses that kind of as like doesn't know what to do, kind of like a defense mechanism of sorts. And they start having this conversation, and this is when they talk about his notebook. She's like, what are you writing?
What are you drawing?
What are you drawing?
I think so.
Yeah. And they have a quick conversation about that notebook, and depressed Jim Carrey again. He's just kind of keeping to himself. He's just kind of keeping to himself. And correct me if I'm wrong, this beginning scene
Talking to the microphone.
My bad. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this beginning scene, it ends with them getting in the... Yes. It ends with them in the car. This is after the train station that they've talked. They've decided, we're going to hang out for a little bit. We're gonna see what happens. And she's like, can you take me to my house real quick? She's like, I got to check my mail or something, check my voicemails or something. And they go to the house, and then as soon as she gets out, cut to black. And then fade back into... It was out of order. My bad. Apparent time jump. So, real quick, what were your thoughts?
But time jump backwards or forwards?
That's why I said apparent time jump. It's supposed to make you think that they jumped forward.
Yeah.
I don't like him at all.
Yeah, it is apparent to make you think they jumped forward because he's crying. They've broken up.
It's at the end of the relationship.
He was so hopeful.
But
remember, right before it cuts to someone banging on the car window.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was
Frodo.
Right there. We have a quick little cameo from post Lord of the Rings Elijah
Yeah, I think,
Woods.
Like fresh out of.
Yeah, I heard this was the
Like-
first movie he did after
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings.
He probably, especially where it came out in 2004, probably wrapped Lord of the Rings, had a month or two off, and then went into Eternal Sunshine.
Yeah.
Which is a big jump, big range for him, too. Why must you bully everybody? Gosh. Disneyland changed him.
It's Disney World. So he bangs on the car window.
Bangs on the car window, and he's just like, can I help you? What are you doing here? Can I help you?
Mm-hmm.
And then Jim Carrey is like, I can't remember if he tells him that he's waiting for. Does he say I'm waiting?
No, he
for,
just says, I don't understand the question.
Yeah,
And,
I don't understand the question.
Yeah, Patrick, his character's name,
Yeah.
is just like, oh, okay, and then
Never
walks
mind.
off.
And then just like scurries away like the little Patrick, like the little Patrick that he is. But we pick back up right here with Joel after the apparent time jump forward. It's actually back into the past because everything that we had watched before was the present. Dun dun dun. Big.
Were you guys able to pick up on that the first time you watched it?
I was not.
I didn't.
No.
I did not until I'm gonna be honest. I watched this movie before I had my cinema knowledge I have now, and I was very confused until the ending.
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah,
picked up on everything.
I realized it once he was getting out of bed again.
Yep, I was like,
That's when I realized it.
oh my gosh! But then, talking about that, what did you guys think rewatching it? Were you able to like see the pieces
A little
and
bit.
stuff
Yeah.
throughout the story a little bit more?
Yeah, because if you go, when he first goes to Lacuna, or that's how you pronounce it, but he talks about the first time he met her.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like how
The
we
same, we
saw.
just
yeah.
saw.
Yeah. But, yes, so right here after this, we find out that Clementine has broken up with Joel.
But she does not know anything about him.
That's what I was getting into.
Sorry, dog.
But she does not know anything about him. And we see this by Joel goes to the bookstore where she works. And I keep looking directly at the camera.
Look at the
But-
camera. It's fine.
It's just like I'm having a conversation with you, not the camera. But he goes to the bookstore she works out.
Yeah.
And there we find out that she has, or we think, at least I did the first time watching it, like Joel, that she's just pretending not to know him.
Yeah.
She's just like, can I help you, sir? Just treating him like any average Joe customer.
Mm-hmm.
And we see that she already has a new boo, a new little side thing. And it's kept hidden from us who the real new player is.
Mm-hmm.
But keen-eyed viewers can see little hobbit ears. But after that, he decides to go to his friend's house, who is, I wish I had a picture, but it is Ian. What's his?
Uncle Ian.
Ian Hawke.
What's his,
No,
Ian
it's
Hawke.
Ian Hawke.
Ian
That's
Hawke.
his character's name.
It's
That's
Ian
not the
Hawke.
character in the movie's name, but we're going to
No.
refer to him exclusively as Ian Hawke. So we can say,
Yeah. What's his actor's name? Because I can't remember.
well, he was in another movie we watched in this class too, because we brought him up again.
Yeah.
That's
There it is.
Pull up that picture right there. We're we're going to Twitter.
Oh no.
Okay.
What? He has a Twitter account?
Oh, I'm not even signed in. Oh. but
Okay,
yes,
it's fine. It's fine. It's him.
He goes to him, his best friend Ian Hawke. He tells him about some chipmunks. It's crazy. But no, he goes to his friend's house and he starts telling him this. And they're kind of exchanging looks, and you kind of get like a maybe. You kind of get a feeling that maybe they know something, maybe they don't. And then it's revealed from Ian Hawke, never told a lie in his life, can't. He's unable from doing it, unable to do it. He goes into a drawer and gets out a paper that
Wait.
says,
Can you close out of that picture and read the bio from Twitter right there? I'm Ian Hawke from the hit 2007.
"It's me, Ian Hawke, best known as Uncle Ian, CEO of Jet Records, manager for Alvin and the Chipmunks." I gotta get off that. Oh my goodness.
Back to crying Jim Carrey.
Back to depressed Jim Carrey.
So Ian Hawks says, "Yep, never told a lie in my life."
Never. I cannot tell a lie, Honest Abe. He gets a piece of paper out that says Clementine, can't remember her last name, has decided.
It's something weird.
Krasinski.
Yeah.
I think it might be.
Yeah.
I had it pulled up.
I think it's
Krasinski.
Yeah.
But it's a piece of paper that says Joe Barrett. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Bearish?
Barrett. I thought it was Barrett. Bird.
Joe Bird. But
Call him Dirt.
She has decided to erase you from her memory. Please never mention
their relationship
ever again. And just a real quick little side note, how would you feel if one of your exes you decided like that you found out got this done and had that piece of paper? I would be mad. I would be very mad. How would you guys think about that?
I'd be mad.
I'd wonder what I did, like how bad I was to get my memories.
You guys hear that?
Yeah. Guys, we're trying to record.
Do you hear Michael A.J. Randolph out there?
Yeah.
Himself is being so loud. You know he used to have a podcast?
Yeah, I know. He's recording one on Wednesday.
Oh, that's crazy. I want to be on it so badly. But yeah, I would be mad about that. Mm-hmm. I don't know, because I feel like relationships, bad or good, you learn stuff.
Yeah.
And it's kind of getting into the theme of the entire movie.
Right.
But do you want to lose that?
Yeah.
Like, do you want to lose what you gained or even lost from that relationship?
Yeah, and you have those good memories, and that's ultimately, spoilers, why Joel decides he doesn't want to get the memories erased, because he's going through all those good memories he has with Clementine. And
we'll get into that later, but that is, I feel like the order of the memories he goes through has a big part to play in it. But he figures out that there's this company that does it. And he decides, I think it's the very next day, to go to this company and just be like, what is going on? And he goes down there, and Kristen Dunset is the secretary, and I can't think of the actor's name, who's the main doctor.
Tom Wilkinson.
Tom Wilkinson?
Yeah, I think, rest in peace, I think he's dead.
Gosh, R.I.P. And if you're not dead, hi, how you doing?
Well, who's his personal assistant? Mary Jane Watson.
I said Kristen Dunset.
I thought we were going to refer to everyone by a different movie character name.
It's funny. I think all the side characters are like in superhero stuff, because Tom Wilkinson's in the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Yep. And then
the Hulk.
Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
And then Mary Jane. And then Uncle Ian. And then the Titanic.
Frodo.
The Titanic was a superhero movie? What? You know the Titanic's not real. Never happened.
Shut up, John. Okay. So she goes and gets her memory wiped. Joel goes to visit the doctor, and they're like, maybe you want to do this too.
Yes, the doctor doesn't decide. The doctor talks Joel into getting
influences
making the decision to get the procedure done. This week off has not been good for us. But Joel decides to get this procedure done, and to do that, he has to go through and get all these trinkets and stuff that basically trigger these memories.
Yeah.
All the reminders of his past relationships.
Yes.
Journal stuff. That's why he mentions he's ripped out pages. Like in the opening, it's because he ripped out those pages in the past.
Yep. But, and then we're going to jump forward a little bit. But whenever they start going into the memories and like actually start the procedure and stuff.
Frodo and the Hulk.
Yeah, Frodo. My bad. That is a big part. Mark Ruffalo is also in this movie. He is one of the technicians that does the procedure and stuff.
Stan, I think is his character's name. Could be wrong.
His name's Bruce. Dr. Bruce Banner.
See, he's also in Project Adam. Have you guys watched Project Adam?
Is that the Ryan Reynolds movie?
It is.
I haven't seen it.
It's so good. It's so good. But, Mark Ruffalo and Elijah Wood go. They're technicians and, like, kind of do this procedure. They go to his house to start this procedure. And then once we jump into the memories, it is when it was like on 6, 7, the dial, it is cranked up to like 12. It just goes crazy, especially for that first like not 10 minutes, like 5 minutes. It's just like the edits are just quick and snappy, and the visuals, like, talk about some of that a little bit. Like, what do you think about that?
The visuals are just great, because I think a lot of them are practical. But I mean, just like some of the lighting too. Like there's one visual of him, like he walks through a door and the lights are coming out from a place and it kind of goes dark, that I really liked. And then just the face is disappearing. That's later on, but stuff like that starts to happen. People start to disappear.
Just basically whenever he's in the memories is just, I feel like it turns into a very art house film-esque type deal. Like they do the wonky camera angles, and they do the fancy light tricks and stuff like that. And I just think it fits the movie so well. But so yes, he starts going through these memories of him and Clementine's relationship, and pretty sure, mistake me if I'm wrong, but he starts off on some pretty rough ones of like them fighting.
Yeah, their last ones.
Yeah, it was their That's
yeah,
how
it goes back in time. It goes like, from their most recent to the back.
Yeah, from Lacuna, get those, and then goes to their like last moments.
It goes from like the most recent.
Most recent to
like the most like back in your memory.
Yeah, their first meeting.
But so we're kind of starting off this memory trip, literally, on at the end of a kind of a dying relationship.
Yeah.
And I think this is the part where he says, he's like, I bet you slept with people tonight
that's the scene.
Because that's the only way you get people to like you. And it's just, again, that line. It's just so, never say that. Never say that, guys. Just never say that to anybody. But I don't know. It's just, especially, it gets better because towards the end we get into some of those better memories. But especially these first couple ones, it's kind of rough. I was kind of thinking like, why is he fighting so hard for this? Like it is rough. And I feel like that was definitely intentional in how you're kind of meant to feel kind of like how Joel feels.
Yeah.
And at that point, the relationship is still very new and raw to him. And so he gets very angry in some of these scenes and kind of loses his temper.
Yeah.
And
that one scene where they talk about they're walking through a city and they're talking about having kids and like get mad at each other because Joel's like, I don't think you're ready to be a mother kind of thing.
Oh, again, it's just one of those lines. It's like, it's like, golly. But then again, it's like, I don't know. I've never been to that point in a relationship, but I feel like when you do get to that point in a relationship, when you start having kids, it is important to ask those type of questions. Like, am I ready for this? I don't know. I don't think any of us have kids. Do you have kids, Aaron Jones?
No. Jonathan, don't you have 4?
Yeah.
Fifth one on the way, right?
2 sets of twins.
Twins on the way. Twins on the way.
Twins on the way. My bad. I get mixed up. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just you see him, like I said, kind of at the end of this dying relationship. But then it does start to get, well, real quick, jumping a little bit ahead, we start to see that these memories are like crumbling. Like we get to see them like how they're crumbling. We see a car fall out of the sky.
Yeah.
We see, what were some of the other ones? There was...
She also doesn't have a leg. Clementine is missing a leg in that scene as well. Yep. And then he, like, that whole scene, like, he starts going back and forth, and it's just the same spot every time.
Just, like, going in a circle, which would be so infuriating. I would be over that in, like, 2 turns. I am not patient at all. I would freak out, like, lose it completely. But it's just... Again, the visuals of like when he's in these memories and just like how they show you these memories are crumbling, and maybe he doesn't remember some of them, like you said, with like the faceless people a little bit later on. And I don't know. It's just, again, Charlie Kaufman, great filmmaker.
Yeah, great script. I don't
still
know.
Alive, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm not
still
sure.
Alive?
Probably.
I would assume.
This movie only came out 21 years ago, so.
21 years ago? Man, I was 2 years old.
Me too.
It came out
the month I was born.
Oh. Oh yeah, happy early birthday, Aaron Jones.
Happy early birthday.
2 days.
Oh Lord, how old are you turning?
21.
21. Oh.
Yeah, you know what we're doing that day?
What?
We're going to Whitehall for info gathering.
That is going to be a blast. Do some shooters before you go.
In Whitehall.
In Whitehall. It'll make it so much more interesting.
Okay, so memories are getting wiped. It's going back in time. It's cutting back and forth to the people that are wiping his memories, as in Frodo and the Hulk. And Frodo is in love with Clementine, and he is using the memories of the previous relationship to win over Clementine.
Yep. And that is that the way it shows that he literally just has a backpack full of this, of this girl's stuff. Just like pulling stuff out and like quoting stuff. Like, dude, oh my gosh. And
Like, here, go back to the ice. So, like, this is obviously Joel and Clementine, and Frodo tries to... I'm just going to refer to everyone as their other characters' names.
More popular movie? No, that's not more popular movie.
You're telling me Lord of the Rings isn't more popular than this? This is my favorite movie, but Lord of the Rings I feel like is more popular.
I would absolutely agree with you.
Maybe I don't know.
Okay, but
Anyways.
he tries to recreate all the previous dates and the good parts of the relationship, which comes back to bite him. So he goes off and does that, and that leaves Mark Ruffalo by himself. And Mark Ruffalo's like, hey, let me bring over my girlfriend, a.k.a.
Kristen Dunst.
Mary Jane Watson.
I think she's already there.
Oh, she shows up later, doesn't she?
No, she shows up with with Patrick.
Because he opens the door and he has like those stupid glasses on with the eyes.
She hates him. That's just such a
she
fun
does
thing.
Hate Patrick.
Opens the door. He's trying to make a joke, and she's just like, "Hi, Patrick."
Yeah,
but she's not supposed to be there.
No.
Okay.
They're breaking the law.
Yeah. So it continues to go back in time through his memories, showing us good things and bad things. And while this is happening, he's talking to the past version of Clementine on how to fight for it and try to remember her even afterwards. So, like, we see, she tells him to go back to a memory where she's not there and hide her in that. Mm-hmm. So it goes to a memory of him being a child, and he's hiding under the table from his babysitter. And so she's the babysitter, but the child Jim Carrey is still adult Jim Carrey. So, like, this has some of the
great use of
practical effects.
Effects and, like, distorting, what's it called?
Depth perception.
Perception stuff. Again, Charlie Kaufman, great filmmaker.
Well, right after the movie, we watched how some of these scenes were made, so that really helped us.
And that's another big thing. I don't know if we watched some of it in class, but this movie has a ton of behind-the-scenes stuff, which I don't know if you guys are into, but, like, I fall asleep to that stuff, like, every night. I love watching behind-the-scenes of movies and stuff. But... yes, and so they're running around, jumping through different memories, trying to go to places that Clementine wouldn't be there. Yeah. Because they're trying to save his memories and not let them be erased. Yeah. Because he's decided to this point that he's done. I want out.
And so they're seeing this on the monitor while this is happening, Hulk and Mary Jane. And so they're trying to fight it and try and fix it, but they got high during all this.
Danced around in their underwear. Like
on top of the body, on top of the bed with them. Like, they got drunk and high.
Don't do drugs. Don't dance around in your underwear.
And so they're like, well, we got to call in Big Boss Head Honcho Man from the Dark Knight. And so they call him in.
Got to call in Falcone.
Yeah, Falcone. And so they bring him in.
It's Dr. Howard is his character name.
Oh.
He's Dr. Howard?
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking you were talking about Batman.
No, that's his character's name in the film.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, what's it? He plays Falcone and...
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So he's Falcone.
Gotcha.
So,
I was just like, I thought I got that right.
And so they call him in to come fix it, and he eventually shows up, and they get him back on track, and he's forgetting all this stuff, and it continues to go back in time. Like, we see him in the bookstore, like, on a date, and, like... she's talking to him. She's like, you can't forget. Just fight it, Joel.
Just fight it.
But while Mark Ruffalo goes away for a second, and we see Mary Jane and Dr. Howard, they're talking, and then they just all of a sudden kiss.
Ew.
I was very shocked by this. Flabbergasted. I was like, where did that come from?
Yeah. See, but then when you rewatch it, it is so obvious. Like, she is the biggest I don't know what you call it, doctor's pet, I guess. I wanted to say teacher's pet.
Yeah, she asks a bunch of questions about it, and this is triggering her memories of getting wiped.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, their relationship, especially if you're not expecting it, kind of just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I don't know. How do you guys feel about it?
It made me tense up. I didn't like it.
It's definitely weird.
Yeah, it's very weird. But then come to find out, it is very, very weird because
he wiped her mind.
He wiped her mind because, plot twist, they had been through this tango before.
Up to how many times? Is it just once or?
No, it was multiple.
Yeah, because
the wife, they had an affair.
Yeah,
the thing was.
The wife shows up, and she's like, "Honey, you already have him."
Yeah, honey, you already have him.
And she leaves.
Poor
and
wife.
Catches him making out in the room.
Yep. And at this point, we see another thing is we see Mark Ruffalo's character who is dating Kristen Dunst. He's just kind of watching it.
Yeah.
Which I've always just been like,
grody.
What are you doing, buddy? Like, he's just kind of like, what are you going to do about it? I'm just going to keep smoking my cigarette. Like, come on. Like, get yourself out of it. That's also an unhealthy relationship. Gosh.
Well, I mean, in the end, he tries to go back for her when she's leaving.
Yeah. He tries to go back for her. Like, golly. Like, she must be good. She has Tobey Maguire hanging upside down to kiss. And
she didn't have Hulk hanging upside down.
No, but she had him whipped. She had him to where she can make out with other men in front of him. And he'd be okay with it.
And so, okay, back to the movie. It's getting really dire at this point. We see how they met originally, and it's at a birthday party from Ian Hawke.
It's Ian Hawke's birthday.
Was it his birthday or was it?
I think it's just like
something.
I thought it was like a barbecue because he brings like a plane with him, remote control plane.
Oh, he brings the plane. I think that's why Joel's going, is because he was like, you gotta see the plane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so they go, and Kirsten Dunst is there. Not Kirsten Dunst. Clementine is there, and like even before this, she's like, to fight for it, go far as back as you can. But then it gets so dire, she's like, just enjoy it while you have it.
Enjoy that's the time we had. Maybe
Joel
we should
says.
Like, maybe we should just enjoy the time we had.
Yeah, because she's like, it's almost done. Like, what are we gonna do? And he's just like, Joel? Enjoy it. Because I really like that scene and that line.
It's like they're at the beach, and then we're seeing them rummage through the beach house. They break into that beach house.
The big thing about that line, real quick, was he said that in like the afternoon when they first showed up, and then he's like, he's just kind of like, if this is gonna be it, we're gonna lose our memory. Let's just enjoy it. And then we see them go throughout their entire day eating and having fun on the beach and playing. Then it's nighttime, and then they decide to go to the abandoned house area place, and they start rummaging through it like Aaron was talking about, and Clementine goes upstairs, and she's like, come on, Joel, come on with me. And Joel decides not to. He stays on the bottom floor.
Yeah, because in real life, like, he runs out of the house. Because they get, like, into a mini fight over, like, breaking into the house. Yeah,
they get in an argument over, should they be breaking into this person's house? Which, no, they shouldn't be.
No, they shouldn't. Well, they weren't there. It was their beach house, and it's in the winter.
So that makes it okay to break in there? Nobody was there?
Go to the next photo. Look. Nope.
Oh, yeah. Another classic shot. This movie is filled, like, I think Professor Sutherland said it, but he's like, this is a filmmaker's movie. He's like, there's just so many cool, like, visuals and shots and compositions and the music. And he's not wrong. It's like, it's one of those movies that you can take almost any frame and it'd be a desktop background.
Yeah. True. So, and they break into the house, and they were like, they enjoy their final moments, and the memories are all gone. And we see Joel wake up, and it's the beginning of the movie. It's the opening scene. Everything that we just saw had happened before. I was flabbergasted.
We see basically the exact same 2 to 3 minutes play out from the beginning of the movie. And You said you were flabbergasted. Let's talk about that for a second. Jonathan, what about you? The first time you watched it, well...
Yeah. I don't know if I was flabbergasted, but I put it together right then. I was like, okay.
That's when I put it together.
Yeah,
Flabbergasted is huge because it's a funny word.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, but I put it, I think it works for this movie really well.
Oh, it works so well. And it's so it hits so strong. It's just like, and then, I don't know. One of the best plot twists, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
In my opinion, in a movie, is this in Eternal
we also forgot when Clementine realizes that her memories were wiped.
She's Joel, or not Joel, Frodo. Like, tries to use that line, and she kind of like...
It clicks.
Clicks.
Yeah.
They're on the ice, and then she takes the car and tries to go find him.
Sub Frodo in for Jim Carrey right here.
Yeah.
This is later in the movie. They're talking, and he's like, "I'm just so freaking happy I could die right here," or something like that.
Yeah,
And then she's just like, it clicks, and she snaps, and then she starts like sobbing, and she's like, "Get away from me, la la la." But yeah. Now, real quick, let's talk about Clementine's character. So you mentioned earlier about the hair colors and the hairstyles and all that. So explain to us about that, because I'm still a little...
Yeah, I think I watched a YouTube essay somewhere where someone talked about, like, the different hair colors and what they mean. Because, like, when they first meet, like, in the past, her hair's green, like, trying to signify, like, the new relationship. And then it goes red, like, at the height of their, like, relationship where they really love each other. Then it gets orange, kind of like fall leaves.
Yeah, it's the seasons.
Yeah.
Spring, summer, fall, winter.
Blue is, like, this kind of different, like, contrast to, like, red or orange.
It shows the darkness, the sadness.
Yeah.
And it's, to me, it's just one of those subtle little things.
Yeah, you don't notice it your first viewing.
You just don't. Like, it's just, she changes her hair. Cool. But it's like when you notice it, it's just like something you can always look to kind of...
It's how you know where you are in the timeline.
Yeah.
It's something you can always go back to, like a pinpoint that you can always be like, we're here. It's like a map marker on the timeline. It's Clementine's hair.
Yeah. Okay. So then it goes to everything after we saw at the beginning of the movie. We see their relationship for a little bit, but then Joel finds a previous thing that he kept.
Clementine goes home.
Oh, yeah.
Gets the letter that Mary Jane left for her.
Because Mary Jane at this
exposed
point,
everyone that forgot their memories.
Yeah.
Decided that she was over Dr. Howard, not going back to Howard Wolowitz.
He's not a doctor. He's a mister.
And he's a mister. But she decides to tell everybody what has happened. And basically, my SD card is, I'm fidgeting with it. But she decides to tell everybody that, hey, basically, your memory's been washed and you've lost all this information and all these relationships and you knew all these people that you didn't think you knew and blah, 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 blah. And
hey, John, and John, I have class in 9 minutes, so.
Well, wrapping up. So Joel and Clementine decide that, well, they're in the hallway. Joel goes inside and kind of is like, hey, what's going on? And they both kind of have the same messages at this point. And
because they've both heard like the negative things they thought about each other.
Yeah, they had this great little moment where they had to sit there and listen to them rant about each other, which would just be horrible. Could you imagine doing that with your ex? Just having them sit there
listen
and
to all the bad things,
tell them every single thing they hated about you.
Yeah,
it'd be horrible.
Well, then they try and fight like, oh, it's worth it. The good things are worth the bad.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where we end the movie on is Clementine's kind of just like, should we do this even though we're going to end up hating each other and we already have and stuff? Like, are you sure you want to go through this? And Joel's just kind of like, yeah, okay.
Everything is worth it.
Let's go through with it. Yeah. And
Eternal sunshine of the spotless mind.
Eternal sunshine of the spotless mind. We were a little bit all over the place this episode. But
now on to eternal trivia of the Spotless trivia.
Oh, we're still going to do that?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We'll do some quick trivia.
So, when I was looking it up, honestly, I kind of forgot about this scene. But there was a scene whenever Kate Winslet, Clementine, like slaps or punches Jim Carrey. Completely improvised. Apparently, she was just having a tough day. Jim Carrey ran his mouth and just got socked for it.
Yeah, I saw somewhere that Jim Carrey was like the only actor who wasn't allowed to improvise because they wanted the specific dark performance. They didn't want the comedy coming from
They
him.
wanted exactly. He's a very comedic actor. He's great at improvisate. He's great at improv.
Yeah.
and they were just like, "Sorry, buddy, can't do it." And then another, what was one? I had it on the Google Doc. I think I already mentioned it. I think I already went through all my trivia facts, to be honest with you. I gave you some throughout the episode. But, so yeah.
Here's a fun fact. When we watched this movie for the first time, I cried, and I called my current girlfriend. And then we got back into class, and I exposed myself for crying to the whole class.
And he's not been the same since. He gets made fun of relentlessly.
I do. He's by Sutherland, by my professor. And then people got into debates in this class. You and Abby and Jordan and Xavier all got into debates. I think this movie sparked. This was the second movie we watched. Yep. It went Wizard of Oz and then this.
Yeah.
And then Princess Bride. And then the 1987 hit film Wings of Desire.
No.
Yeah, we'll have to watch that for one of these and get together and all talk about it.
Nope.
No,
okay.
I'm good. But, so next week, me and Aaron are going to be covering...
Insert drum roll here.
The Graduate. Sorry, it's a few clicks away. But we are going to be watching The Graduate with Dustin Hoffman and...
Mr. Feeney.
Mr. Feeney. And Mike Nichols directed it? Is that
I think
right?
so. I don't know.
Yeah, it came out in 1967, and
it's the start of a new age for Hollywood.
Start of a new age, a counterculture, honestly. But
thanks to the French New Wave and neorealism.
Exactly. Has he graded your midterm yet?
Nope,
me neither. But well, alrighty. Well, thank you so much for joining.
Absolutely.
And like I said, well, I definitely have to have you back for if we ever do the Truman Show or the Batman.
Yeah.
But well, alrighty. Well,
I think actually, can we do the Twilight movies next week?
No.
We're just gonna go on a 5-week span of doing all the Twilight movies.
Dude, I would quit.
I like the Twilight movies.
I've never seen a single one.
I've seen all 5 of them.
I watched one of them over the break, and but yes, thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe, smash that like button,
and as always, take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself.
You still hate your life?
I hate my life.